Happy Friday Eve. Thank you for tuning in to KSAT News Now, our streaming newscast that now airs Monday through Friday. And today's stories include the latest on that deadly shooting at the movie set of Rust. And will the NFL suspend Aaron Rodgers for violating those COVID protocols? Plus
the trial for Ahmaud Arbery is set to begin tomorrow, so we're going to take a look at some controversy around that. And we're also talking about parking lot safety following the shooting at the Alamo Quarry market earlier this week. And of course, a lot more. But first of all, let's start out with the big story. Continues to be the weather. Justin Horn is joining us now this morning, and we were talking a little bit beforehand. This is warm soup caldo weather. Is that what we're?
I think that's spot on. Spot on. It's that time of year where we can do that.
Yeah.
Or as Mike Ostrich likes to say, grilled cheese and tomato soup type thing.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That does
I
sound
want
good.
either fideo or tomato basil.
It's all good, right?
Yes.
And we can do it because temperatures have been that cold. A little quiz for you guys.
Here we go.
Okay.
At what temperature do you begin calculating wind chill?
Oh, this is a good one.
What do you think?
Okay, so usually Sarah Spivey is like, what are the cold temperatures? And it's usually like just the lowest number. Justin out here.
She makes it easy for RJ. I vote C, 50 degrees.
Okay.
I feel like that's when I'm like freezing and I
At what
want to know.
temperature do you begin calculating wind chill? Okay, so you said C. You know what? I'm just going to go with A, 40 degrees.
What?
Let's get cold.
50 degrees.
Alicia
nailed it.
No.
She cheated. What a sore loser.
I saw them all bleeding up on the side early.
Yes, but at 50 degrees is when you start calculating wind chill. And have you ever calculated wind chill? I actually have not.
No. How do you even calculate wind chill?
Right here. Here you go.
Oh.
This is some serious math.
That's why we've never done
I'm not even going to point all this out. It's ridiculous. 35.74 plus numbers.
Oh my gosh, I'm going back to my algebra class.
Professor Horn up in here.
It's based on human face models calculated at 5 feet and incorporates modern heat transfer. So this is some real math, guys. Like, it's real serious stuff.
So you've never done it.
I love it.
I've never said they done that. We don't need to know all that.
Bringing equations and all sorts of stuff to KSAT News Now.
Math class. But look, the temperature here in San Antonio is 53, so we wouldn't have a wind chill, right? Because the temperature is now below 50 degrees. Where we do have the wind chills up in the hill country where temperatures are in the 40s. 49 in Kerrville, 46 in Rock Springs. So then you look at the wind chill, and this is what it feels like: 45 in Kerrville, 41 in Fredericksburg. That's the equation at work. No wind chill for San Antonio points to the south. But it is going to be a chilly day because we have the clouds around. Those clouds are not going to go away, and that's going to keep temperatures in the 50s all day long. So we're going to top out at 56. That's it. Showers are going away. And then 60s tomorrow as the clouds clear. The weekend, guys, looks amazing. We'll be in the 70s both Saturday and Sunday as we fall back. So get ready for daylight saving time. And then next week, temperatures warm up. So it's a good-looking 7-day forecast. And then today, yes, is soup weather. I agree with you, RJ.
But Saturday and Sunday, not much with humidity?
No, the humidity.
So it's actually going to feel like 70.
It will feel like it's in the 70s. It'll be perfect.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Horn, for that detail.
So many professors here in the building.
Yeah, they're great. Our KSAT meteorologist, awesome. Always bringing it.
I'll quiz you again later today. All right, well, a big story we've been following up this week has been that terrifying carjacking case at the Alamo Quarry earlier this week. A woman in her 20s was shot in the face in the parking lot of the Whole Foods, and she had just left the store, was trying to get back into her car when that man approached her and demanded her vehicle and later shot her.
Police ended up arresting and identified the suspect as 18-year-old Julio Cesar Rivera II. He's charged with aggravated robbery. Now we have learned of at least 2 more attempted carjackings, which has many people on high alert this morning.
Was a third case where police believe someone tried to steal a vehicle before killing a man on Ermine Boulevard. That's 3 carjackings in less than 3 weeks. All are separate cases.
Now the night team's Lee Waldman is live this evening. And Lee, you spoke with the police.
Yesterday on the night beat, we got some parking lot safety tips. This is important as we get ready for the holiday shopping season, and really something that we should always be on alert for, unfortunately, but this is a little refresher.
In today's world, we're so focused on our phones that we're not aware of what's going on around us, whether it's people or cars, anything like that. So just getting out of the phone, putting it down, and being aware of surroundings.
morning, we are looking to give you guys some tips on how to be safer when it comes to parking lot safety. Of course, a lot of people wondering about this. Some tips that we found online: well, be patient when looking for a parking space. This, of course, when everything kind of gets crowded. Look around and under your vehicle before approaching it. That's actually something that I never really do, Alicia, but it's just good to know.
And store shopping bags out of plain sight. This is something that I think many of us take for granted or just do. Put them in your trunk if possible. And then lastly, look for other cars or people and back out slowly. So that's more of, to make sure you don't injure anyone. But with this case, she was going to her local grocery store. Right. I think she was buying a sandwich, right. So this is probably a routine, as it is for many when we frequent our neighborhood markets or just go shopping. And this terrifying thing happened to her.
Yeah, something you would definitely not expect on just, as you mentioned, just a routine just a routine visit to Whole Foods, but it's and we've been talking about this. This could happen anywhere at any time. Obviously, it doesn't just have to be for the holiday shopping season, but we know that parking lots are going to be really busy during that time frame. So, still kind of figuring out more details as we get them.
So I actually swung by the Quarry yesterday. I had some errands to run, but I was really surprised to see this was around 7 or 8. There weren't many lights in the parking lot, which is unusual because usually it's a very well-lit area. It makes you feel really safe. And then yesterday, driving by the entrance of the Quarry, I did notice that they had more security detail, like parked right out in front. But those were some of the changes that I noticed. But I think a lot of people frequenting that area or any other shopping markets, obviously on edge. But
yeah. And hopefully, everyone stays safe out there as they head out to the stores and just kind of stay on high alert. So moving on to a big national story, all eyes on the state of Georgia tomorrow as the high-profile trial for 3 white men charged in the death of a black man, Ahmaud Arbery, is expected to start. But there are a lot of questions this morning about how the jury selection process sort of played out, and that was just finalized yesterday.
So after weeks of heated debate, the final jury will include 11 white people, most of them women, and 1 black man. The judge noted, quote, intentional discrimination by attorneys for the 3 defendants appeared to have shaped jury selection, but he then said that the state's law actually limited his authority to even intervene.
Very interesting. Arbery was shot while jogging. We just saw that video right there, it was cell phone video, near his home last year. Officials said he was chased and killed and he was not armed. And of course, this case has sparked a national outrage last year. Many legal experts say this is a major test for racial justice in the Deep South.
That is just one that, of course, again, is probably going to cause a lot of emotions to come up. Now to some headlines on the COVID vaccine front. The government issued new rules for big companies. Millions of Americans who work for companies with 100 or more workers will need to be vaccinated against COVID-19, and they have a deadline by January 4th.
Yeah, that's right. Or get tested weekly for the virus if they are not vaccinated. Companies that fail to follow these rules could face penalties of nearly $14,000 per violation, and that's going to be coming from the U.S. Safety and Health Occupational Service. So they're going to be monitoring this. We know that there's a lot of movements here when it comes to the vaccine and mandates.
And Moderna says they don't have enough vaccines. The company says it's dealing with production and shipment issues. And actually, some of those deliveries are going to be pushed back to 2022. Moderna now expects to ship between 700 million to 800 million vaccine doses. So that's 100 to 300 million less doses than they originally had in mind. So they're falling short by a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a production shortage, I believe they also were indicating there. So, and in the fight against COVID-19 overseas, officials in the UK have approved the world's first oral antiviral capsule for the treatment of COVID-19. So the company behind the capsule says it will be used to treat mild to moderate COVID-19 in adults and at risk for severe illness, but it hasn't been authorized for use anywhere else. So this is a big development there because it's actually something that you can take like a pill pretty much. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I think it'll take some time to even reach over here if it shows any effectiveness. But some big news sticking with COVID, but now in relation to the NFL. Star Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, as you know, tested positive for the virus, but many people are wondering if he lied about his vaccination status.
A lot of questions here about this case. It's basically become a national talking point. So Rodgers told the media before the season, you saw him there, that was a picture of him actually arriving to training camp. He told the media before the season started that he was, quote, immunized. So he was asked by reporters, have you gotten the vaccine? He said he was immunized. So ESPN is actually reporting that Rodgers had an alternate treatment prior to the start of training camp and then asked the NFL to allow him to be considered the same as someone who has actually gotten the approved vaccinations.
But the NFL determined he would not be considered a vaccinated player and needed to follow strict masking rules, which Rodgers may have broken. They're now investigating if he broke several COVID protocols or more by not wearing a mask while around other players, as well as the coaches.
And a big part of this, Elise, is that, right now what the NFL is doing, so players that have basically said that they're not going to get vaccinated. There's been a few. Cole Beasley, former Cowboys receiver, he said he's not going to get it. They're either doing a Zoom call for media, or anytime they have to talk to the media, like in person, they have to wear a mask. So Rodgers has not been wearing masks at all during his media sessions. There's been no Zoom sessions with him. So I think this is a question of, what protocols did he break, and whether the NFL is going to maybe find something that Green Bay did. Maybe Green Bay knowingly kind of thought that, he was cleared, or I don't know. It's a lot of questions there.
Well, if it's true of him asking to his treatment, the prior treatment that he received, to be counted for as the vaccination, well, then I think administrators will probably be getting in trouble too.
Yeah. The other question is, obviously, he's a very popular player. You
Yeah.
see him in all those
One
State
of the-
Farm commercials all the time, right? What is it, the Rodgers deal or whatever? And he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see whether the NFL suspends him for any reason or not. But
Bottom line,
yeah.
he did violate the trust.
Yep, definitely.
So we'll see what happens there. New allegations in the case of the deadly shooting that took place on the movie set of Rust. The main question, RJ, remains, how did a live round get on set? Well, an attorney has now stated that someone might have tried to sabotage the set by putting a live round of ammunition in a box that was actually labeled dummy ammunition.
This is very interesting new details right here. So no evidence has been provided to support that statement, but the attorney did mention a possible motive, a disgruntled crew member. So the day before the shooting, members of the crew had walked off the set and quit, but the attorneys didn't mention if it was over safety concerns. But attorneys for a set armorer said in a statement that the entire production was really unsafe, including a lot of lack of safety meetings and things of that nature.
And this is causing a lot of change right there. You saw a quote from Dwayne Johnson. We want to go back to that. And that's because he's pledged to stop using real guns on his productions. He made the announcement yesterday during the premiere of his latest movie, Red Notice. And he says there that any movie that we have moving forward with $7 Productions, any movie, any television show, or anything we do or produce, we won't use real guns at all.
And I think this is obviously going to bring up a lot of changes when it comes to movie sets. I was under the impression, I always thought that they were using these prop guns, I guess fake guns. This is just, again, my being naive about all this stuff. So I didn't realize that they would use real guns for some of the stuff. I guess it makes sense. You want to make the movie look real. I mean, so, but still.
I, on the other hand, thought everything was real.
Oh.
And I recently found out that most of these movies have sets, the green screens. So I don't know what world I live in, but
yeah, I was thinking
definitely.
well, there's a lot of CGI involved, but obviously The Rock taking probably the first step of what might be the future of
and I
movie
think
making.
I think a lot of other actors will probably step up, or at least voice their concerns more when it comes to safety precautions on set. But here at home,
Yes.
big news.
All right, here we
Just
go.
announced a few minutes ago.
New rodeo performers, gotta love that. The San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and guess what? We're getting some southern hospitality up in here because Ludacris is coming to concert, the Alamo City. Yes, Andrew's giving me a weird look. Ludacris is coming to concert here for the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo. Just announced that Ludacris and 3 other acts were going to be joining the already, pretty full rodeo lineup concert performance.
So Ludacris is a rapper. That was the
Yes.
joke there. Okay. Okay. You may also recognize him from Fast and the Furious. So on your screen,
man.
you have more of the. All right. So opening night, Toby Keith. You also have Midland, Little Texas, Tanya Tucker. She's awesome. She's one of the gals that, if you know country, she goes back, I think, to the 70s.
Right.
She just won her first Grammy. Lady A will be there. Brad Paisley, who is huge here. I know a lot of people who go to his concert every year. Tim McGraw. Oh, here for our Spanish language audience,
Yeah.
Ramon Ayala
Yeah,
y
there
sus
we go.
Bravos del Norte with the
Okay.
accordion, king of the accordion. He will be here. Ryan Bingham also. I'd like to check him out.
Also, Three Doors Down for the, because we know San Antonio loves the old rock bands, so Three Doors Down is going to be coming up here. Speaking of rock bands, Styx for the older crowd there. Styx going to
I
be
don't know
rocking
Styx.
out the AT&T.
Oh, okay.
Going to be rocking out the AT&T Center as well. So we have the full lineup there on KSAT.com, and so yeah, Ludacris. Not remember those?
No,
old
I know
hip-hop
who
songs?
Ludacris is. Move, get out the way. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Throw them bows.
RJ, I want to check here on the Facebook comments to see if we have any participants on here. But remember, we're streaming live now on YouTube as well. On Facebook, you can also submit your comments online as well on KSAT.com. So if you want to engage with us, let us know what you're thinking on the stories that we're covering. That would be great. RJ, do you see anything here?
Don't really see anything. I also want to mention that
can't
we
pull it
are
up.
on YouTube Live. So if you're watching us now, you can also check us out there. And some people commented on Facebook, prayers for healing. That was Eva Brown. I'm guessing that is from the Alamo Quarry shooting. So
Yeah.
we'll continue to follow that story. Thank you very much, Eva probably Brown for commenting on Facebook Live with us this morning on KSAT News Now.
I'm smiling over here because of the Ludacris comment.
Oh,
All right,
man,
so he'll be
yeah.
one of the performers.
Luda, here we
Big
go.
news. All right, settle down now. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Have a good day.
one.